What made you get to a point where you wanted to make this your mission?
So I was born into social justice work. My mother got it from her mother. My grandmother was very active in community, especially anything that had to do with Black women's health. She had several children who were born ill, sickly, as they would say, and it would just be difficult for her to find resources and find support and assistance. And we're talking going back to the 40s and 50s then. So she, always fought to make a way for her own children and for other people and their kids to have access to proper health care. So that was kind of how I was born into it. And I was just raised in this world. I am Lauren Thomas. I am a community legal advocate at the Detroit Justice Center. We are the entire second floor of the Love Building. And what does a community legal advocate do? I do help people with legal work that you don't need an attorney for. We call that democratizing the law, making legal systems a bit more accessible for people who don't have access to traditional lawyers.
Literature, art, community space. They're really thinking about the role that healing plays in kind of our futures that we imagine. So yeah, I know her project for this year is developing a children's book, actually, that kind of invites kids to think more about just things beyond incarceration.
This is the Detroit Justice Center. We are on the second floor of the Love Building. We've got the entire floor here. So this is just our welcome area. We do have clients who do come in. So we try to make it as open as possible. This is an area where we do client intake. We try to make it accessible for the little ones as well. We don't turn you away if you got your kids with you. That's totally fine. One of our main conference rooms where we do team meetings and things like that in here. And you can see somebody has written, instead of a jail, what they will build. We have hundreds of these from over the years, and we absolutely love seeing that. We love seeing what people are dreaming about for their city.
So before Detroit Justice Center was in the Love Building, where were you operating out of?
So during COVID, we of course were remote, and we did have some shared space at the Chroma building on the boulevard. Before then, we had an office in the Julian Madison building on Washington Boulevard. So that's where we have been for the years leading up to COVID.
Nice.
Yep. So we do still have a lot of art and things around. This is actually my office.
The boss's office?
Me and my coworker, she was actually just with a client. We don't take a ton of clients in office, but if we need to, we will. Our Divest Invest project manager, she's not in there right now, she just walked by. This is our amazing fellow from Duke, our policy fellow, Ashley.
So what is it like working with Detroit Justice?
It's the best, the absolute best. People here are passionate. I was sitting there listening to Lauren's presentation, and I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, what do we do? What do we do, Lauren? But yeah, people here are inspiring, they're inspired, and I'm inspired being near them and working with them.
Awesome.
And with somebody, this is our restorative justice project manager, our development team. So this is our wonderful team. They're all here. They're just out and about.
Understandable.
They're the ones who get the money, so we can do our programming. This is our intern's office.
So Lauren, what got you into this personally? What made you get to a point where you wanted to make this your mission?
So I was born into social justice work. My mother got it from her mother. My grandmother was very active in community, especially anything that had to do with Black women's health. She had several children who were born ill, sickly, as they would say, and it would just be difficult for her to find resources and find support and assistance. And we're talking going back to the 40s and 50s then. So she, always fought to make a way for her own children and for other people and their kids to have like access to proper health care. So that was kind of how I was born into it. And I was just raised in this world.
Nice.
So more artwork. This artist, her studio, when this was an artist gallery, used to be on this floor. This is our previous artist in residence, Salem. They made lots of textile pieces, like these quilts that had like ancestral stories and things like woven in, and it was very interactive. So that was our second artist in residence. They aren't here today, but our ED and our HR person, our development director is walking around hosting folks. Another painting by Mika.
Wow, so you got the whole floor.
Yes.
Wow.
The whole
Okay.
floor, the whole second floor is DJC. This is our finance director.
How you doing?
This is our economic equity practice director, attorney Eric. I would love that.
How you doing?
Another attorney, Cherie.
How you doing?
Our an intern, one of our University of Michigan interns. More artwork by Miko.
Nice.
So yeah, so just so delightful. I love having you here. Law books.
So 5 years from now, where is Detroit Justice Center at that point, and or the impact that you're looking to?
Yeah, so more of what we like to see, more robust rights when it comes to for tenants in eviction. There have been some improvements. We want to see even more to protect people in their homes, more helping to make more affordable housing in general through our community land trust and other advocacy programs, reducing the jail and prison population, again by advocating for the fact that it's ridiculous how many people we have in jail because they can't pay a traffic ticket. Like it's really wild. The same like with child support. So really seeing those numbers go down. That's really what we want to see. And then we want to see more of the solidarity economy, more cooperative businesses, cooperative living, and just where people are able to invest in their own community in different ways from how that looks, not just financially, but with time and energy, and all of that. So yeah, we love this work. We love our community. So it's like all those things that like make us better. We want to see even more of that.
Absolutely.
And think about a time in your life where you have felt the most safe. Maybe you were a child, maybe you were just snuggled up with a grandparent or something. Just think about that time. Now think about a time in your life where you felt the most free. Maybe you were on a swing going really, really high. Maybe you just got off a punishment. Maybe you just got off work. Think about those times where you felt the safest and the freest. And I'm going to tell you that at the Detroit Justice Center, we consider ourselves to be an abolitionist organization. We are attempting to end mass incarceration. And with that, what we are doing is not just re-examining what safety and freedom are, but really, really diving into what freedom and safety really are beyond policing, beyond jails. How do we do that? How do we do this work? We have a three-pronged approach at DJC. Defense, offense, dreaming. Defense, offense, dreaming. And what does that look like? I've got some homies here from each of these amazing departments. Our defense is direct services. It's the issues that face our day-to-day lives. Our legal services and advocacy practice, which we have two of our amazing attorneys here. Our offense, our economic equity practice, which I do believe I saw Eric a little bit earlier. And then our dreaming, our just cities and artist residency. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. Our values, how we do this work of liberation, true liberation, empowerment. We do nothing. Our empowerment and collaboration, those go together. We do nothing without community. Those closest to the problem are going to be local the solution. We work with our community. We don't tell people what to do. I work with some brilliant people. Our founder went to Harvard, Yale, and Columbia. She never told people what to do. She never talked at people. It was always a collaboration and innovation. In order to talk about these systems that we're trying to tear down and build something, we have to be creative. We have to be innovative. We cannot be doing the same things and expecting new results. Defense, legal services and advocacy. In the state of Michigan at any given time, there are between 50 and 70% of people that are incarcerated pre-trial, pre-conviction. What do we think those people are in there for? And what are they not paying for mostly? Traffic tickets. Most people, there is a huge percentage of people who are incarcerated for not paying traffic tickets. The number 2 warrant issued in Michigan is failure to appear. What did they fail to appear? Traffic. We are incarcerated. When we talk about mass incarceration, we're not talking about murderers and drug dealers only in Jackson. We are talking about people on Mound Road who are just waiting for an appointment at 36th District Court and our surrounding courts, because Detroit does this and it does work in Washington, Macomb, and Oakland counties as well. So we talk about like eliminating mass incarceration. We start there. You should be in jail for these traffic offenses, for child support or rearages. That's not really helping the child, the family, or anyone else. In addition to that part of defense, you have people like Ms. Sonia Bonnet and me and Chris was just here a minute ago, helping Detroiters. We've helped hundreds of Detroiters to the tune of $300 million in savings for property tax assessment appeals. This city of Detroit was over-assessing and overcharging to the tune of $600 million is how much the city had taken. In the 6 years that we worked here, we've helped hundreds of Detroiters get those property tax assessments corrected, and then we also advocated and worked with the Coalition for Property Tax Justice to, fix the problem so we don't have to continue doing the appeals. In addition to that, our expungement work. Offense. We can't just stay on defense. Defense wins games, but you gotta have some points on the board too. What are we doing on this other end? Our economic equity practice. Detroit used to be the highest concentration of Black home ownership in the country. We are now a renter city. And even the rent is still not affordable. What does that look like? What are some of the innovative approaches to the housing crisis, to affordable housing crisis? We have amazing attorneys and workers in our practice, working with even more amazing clients at Detroit Cultivator Community Land Trust in Detroit, where we are looking at other ways to even imagine affordable housing, affordable community spaces. And we talk a lot of home ownership, does mean building wealth and building generational wealth. Community land trusts are a way to build community wealth in a sustainable way. And our practice has done, when y'all hear community land trust in the city of Detroit, you will probably see Eric's face, he's up on the 2nd floor, and Mark, because they've done so much work in this field and really getting us talking. Detroit was a little bit behind the ball on community land trust because across the country, we see a bit more of it, but we're getting there. We are getting there. Dreaming. This is the best. Oh, Eric, right on, not on time, but yes. Dreaming. When we talk about abolition, we're talking about defunding the police. We talk about maybe not having all these jails, but that's not it. We're talking about what we are building instead. That is a huge part of our work. We cannot just tear down, we have to build up. Some years ago, when we were a new organization, about 6 years ago, we did an exercise with young people. And they actually came up with this, and we still use it to this day. When we talk about the $300 million that was being used to build a new juvenile detention facility. Right. That is, my children see it every day. It's right by their school. $300 million to jail and cage children. If you had that money, what would you build instead? We have these down here, and if y'all come to visit us up on the second floor, please, I beg of you, think about what you would build instead. Additionally, what are your freedom dreams? We keep these. We have stacks of these from events we've done over the years, hundreds of these, and we keep them and we compile them. So what does dreaming look like? Our Just Cities Lab, divest, invest. How do we take this money from here that's not working? Jails have not kept us safe so far. How do we take the money from that and invest it in our communities? When we look at the safest communities, like if you think about the safest place you've ever been, was it like tons of police? Was it tons of jails? Probably not. When I see the police, I get a little nervous. So what do we take from there and invest? The Metro Detroit Restorative Justice Network. Again, what are we building? If we're taking away punitive punishment and we're kind of saying retribution and vengeance that's not the way, that's not working. Restorative justice is true conflict resolution, true healing in community, and we have an amazing director of this who works, and she has different cohorts. Just finished a third cohort of training circle leaders in restorative justice practices so we can expand that into our community, into our everyday lives. We've also had we're on our third artist in residency. Just like in the Love Building, how there's all this wonderful art, justice, as we've kind of seen from our other neighbors. What does it look like? What does a world without police and incarceration, what does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it smell like? And we've had artists and residents that have really, really been able to kind of capture that and translate it into beautiful, beautiful artwork. We do this work with joy. We do this work with the belief that we are working ourselves out of a job. Sonia and I said 5 years ago, we do not want to be talking about property taxes for the next 5-10 years. And guess what? The property tax issue has gotten better. There's been ordinance, there's been tons of stuff and improvements in that work. And that's what we want to continue to see, but we have to believe in it to get there. There's a James Baldwin quote, "I cannot tell the children there is no hope." We do this work with hope and love and community. We are community ourselves, and there is joy in it. So I hope that y'all come visit us up on the second floor. Most of us are here to answer questions. Don't come to our attorneys talking about all your legal issues. Like they can answer some general stuff, but some of the stuff you might need to hire an attorney for. But we are here also, as you'll find out more about the Love Building, it was an artist space. The artwork on the second floor in our hallways is done by an artist named Miko. When this was the artist studio, the second floor was Miko's studio space. So we are super, super grateful. Oh my gosh, and I wrote it down and I forgot. Our Road to Restoration program, and you're sitting right here. Over the past couple years, we worked with the Secretary of State to help people restore their licenses. That whole people driving without a valid license. Hundreds of people. Ravina had a client recently, had not had a license in 27 years. He has a license now. He has a driver's license now, so we do, whenever you see the Road to Restoration clinics and there are other orgs working on those along with the Secretary of State, but that's Ravina's baby. Ravina has put in so much work on that, and again, that's the kind of question you can ask today. Y'all can ask about licenses and Road to Restoration and, briefly. But thank y'all so much. I hope y'all come upstairs and visit us on the second floor. We really, really all love talking about our work. I can talk to you, I can give you all kinds of statistics